Today we're going to be doing our pre-combine NFL mock draft, and we're just going to hop right into it.
Kind of feel like a broken record at this point. It's going to be Mendoza. I don't know what the line is, but it's probably like minus 5,000 or something.
I bet it's lower.
Yeah, it's going to happen. His average draft position says 1.1, which means what? 1 out of every 10 people have him going like second overall or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not happening. He's going number 1 to the Raiders. They've already met with him. He's basically already talked with Gent. He's talked with all these guys. It's just going to happen.
I mean, we are expecting this, right? I'm sure a big thing about hiring Clint Kubiak was like, oh, you can have Mendoza if you come here, right? Like, it is an expected thing. We've talked about this so many times, like you said. I think something interesting, or maybe not interesting, but something weird is that I was talking to McKay about this before we recorded this. Somebody was like, oh, he's going to go to the Jets because he only said that. He said, we'll see what happens when they asked him if he's going to go to the Jets or something. Like, I don't know what you want him to say. He's not going to say, I'm going to the Raiders, right? But, like, he's basically said that at this point. So we can all but expect it here. I think that it's very clear what's going to happen here for the Raiders, and they're going to take Fernando Mendoza. We've talked about why, it could be a really good fit. It could be a really bad fit. Why this quarterback class is super weak, so that's all going to, this is going to happen. It is a lock. There's not even another quarterback in conversation for the number 1 overall pick, similar to last year where they just took the only guy they thought could be okay, really, and stuck him up at 1, even if that was a little bit too high.
Cam Ward was definitely a better prospect.
I mean, yeah, for sure, but I think people think Mendoza's a better prospect, which is kind of crazy. We'll see Mendoza's pro day in a little bit and all that good stuff. Not going to be doing anything at the NFL Combine, which is why I think we should quickly get to pick number 2, because this is where it gets interesting. With the Combine being this week, we're going to get to see lots about these edge rushers, about their height, their arm length, their speed, all those things. I think those can be super important measurables for this position, and I think that the Jets are looking at edge here, if we're just being completely honest. Today, this morning, a big news dropped that T'Vondre Sweat was just acquired by the New York Jets for Jermaine Johnson. So that does 2 things for them that I think are really, really helpful. It makes this pick more valuable, in my opinion, because now you can take one of these edge rushers more. Like, obviously you could have, you're not taking an edge rusher because of Jermaine Johnson, right? But at the same time, it felt like the edge room was your strongest positional group, so it was like hard to justify that at 2. Now it's really not. All you have is Will McDonald, and you could really use somebody on the other side.
Yeah, definitely.
And it feels like this edge group is just super, super strong, so it's the position you want to target. And on top of that, it's not like you're losing talent. You actually gain talent, in my opinion. I think T'Vondre Sweat's really good, and it's at a position that was such a big need. So you're addressing that while making your number 2 pick that much better. An incredible trade for them. Let us know in the comments what you grade the trade. I'm very interested to see that, but I've seen a lot of people talking very positively in the Jets' favor. Getting T'Vondre Sweat. But again, I think that they're looking at edge 100%, especially that move almost confirms that they're looking edge here.
Yeah, for sure.
We've seen, the odds are clearly in 2 specific people's favor, so that's who we're going to talk about. Arvell Reese and David Bailey. Arvell Reese, I have not done a ton of scouting on Arvell Reese. I know you've done a lot more than I have, but you're not a huge fan of Arvell Reese.
Well, yeah, you could say that.
But David Bailey is someone I think is super interesting because while he's not like massive or anything, he does have some really good tape. I've seen some really good clips of him winning with spin move specifically. His spin move is fantastic. He's able to get around people. I've seen him win with power. It's, I don't know how much that's going to translate to the NFL, in my opinion. Have to see that a little bit more and obviously get a deeper dive on the film. But David Bailey obviously is rising this high for a reason. He's got great tape and he's athletic. And when you look at, Arvell Reese, like I said, you're not maybe the biggest fan of Arvell Reese, but he is a prospect that a lot of people really like. He is one heck of an athlete, but he's super undersized for an edge. And there's no telling that he's even technically going to play full-time edge in the NFL. It's expected, but not confirmed. And I think that's interesting to take it to. I just don't think it makes a ton of sense.
Well, he's not going to be full-time edge, obviously, but you hope that's his primary position.
Right, but I just think the Jets GM is doing a fantastic job here this season and off season. I think he's come in and he has put a new name, or he's put a new what's the word I'm looking for? Like mindset to the Jets, right? The Jets have been poverty for so long. The way they've gone about things is so horrible. But they had a fire sale at the deadline. They got the 3 first-round picks and a second maybe for 2 players. that really just weren't going to be in their prime by the time you're ready to compete. He's taking his time. He knows it's going to take years, and he's not trying to be like the other Jets where he's just trying to kind of Jets GMs where they're kind of just trying to like put out a team that can win some games so the New York fans don't hate them as much because they have a lot of fans they're trying to please, obviously. But at the end of the day, this takes time. The NFL rebuilds take time, and so I think they're doing a great job of this. They just got T'Vondre Sweat, a young developing piece to put at DT, and now they got the number 2 overall pick and a pick later, which we'll talk about. I think they're going to take an edge, and they're going to do great things with that, and I just don't think Arvell Reese is what they're looking for as much as people want it to be. I think a big reason that maybe a lot of people think that is, their interior linebackers could also use help. So, he can move around if you want, but he's just not good enough to take it to, is what it seems like. And so I'm going to go with David Bailey here. I think, I know you've talked about in the past how you don't think it's the best fit, but especially with Jermaine Johnson now leaving and them really needing an edge, we have reports that they like him. So I think that with how much he's risen the tape, he's going to be a good player for them, and I think that this is the move that they're looking to make.
I just can't see David Bailey going this high personally. At 2,
but you can see Arvell Reese.
No, I can't either, but I mean, I'm fine with him in the top 10 for sure, but he's a guy that I feel like there's a good chance he's not going to be an early down player in the NFL because he struggled to stop the run, and that's not the type of edge rusher that normally goes at number 2 overall. Obviously, Arvell Reese, just a very different player, limited in other ways, but I think the upside of Reese, like I'd rather have Bailey, and I think Bailey's it's so hard to explain.
His upside
but
might be
Arvell
higher
Reese
too.
makes a more sense for a pick at 2 in my opinion because he has more upside. So I feel like
does he have more upside?
I just feel like that the pick at 2 will just never pay off for David Bailey because I feel confident he'll be a good player. I don't think he'll be a great player just because he's going to be a guy who's going to be mostly on the field on third down and in passing situations.
You don't feel like Arvell Reese is going to be a good player, so definitely a better
pick.
pick.
I think that if he gets in the right scheme, he could be.
And even if it's not the best pick,
I
think there's definitely Ruben Bain is probably who I would look at still. Again, we haven't done our deep dives on these edge rushers yet, which we will at some point during this off season. But from what the early look, it's I love Ruben Bain, even though his arms are short for me. But there is absolutely no reports that he's going to go to. It seems like the NFL teams are a little bit more worried about those short arms than maybe like I am personally. But I really think that. There's a reason that everyone's saying it's going to be between those 2 guys for the Jets. I mean, we don't have that insider info, and so since it's predictive mock draft, I definitely went Bailey. I think it makes way more sense than Reese, so that's why I went with Bailey.
All right.
If you made it to this point in the video, you're probably enjoying it, so you should subscribe to the channel and like the video. It helps out a ton. Back to the video, guys. Got number 3 to the Cardinals.
All right. The Cardinals are in an interesting spot here. I mean, Arvell Reese is still on the board. I bet a lot of Cardinals fans probably want Arvell Reese.
You think so?
Probably. I've seen Jeremiah Love.
That would make no sense.
That. Not a huge fan. But I think it's kind of a boring pick, but I'm just going to go Maui Noah. They just really need that lineman. I think what they should do, though, is take a guy in free agency. Maybe take a Braxton Jones, who's going to be somewhat cheap. He's shown for the Bears he was able to be a starting caliber lineman. He's only going to be like $10 million a year, and he's like 26 years old. I think that'd be a good investment for them, which would allow them to be a bit more flexible with this selection. But Maui Noah is a good player. I probably will end up having him in the top 12 of my board. I think 3 is a bit rich, but I don't know. It just seems to be the way that the Cardinals are leading at this point. So
yeah, I mean, it's a good pick, right? Like, it's the safe pick. I think it's a good pick. Like you said, I think that it does make sense to get a guy like Braxton Jones in free agency, but I also think it makes sense to just have 2 young, really good tackles. I think that's really underrated in today's league, and we're seeing teams do it more and more. You've got like the Jets tackle combo. I mean, that's going to be great for you so many years, and you don't have to pay them at the same time. They're coming out in 2 different years, and on top of that, you don't have to pay either of them for a little while you're trying to get through cap stuff, and obviously the Jets aren't dealing with cap stuff as much, but I think that's really underrated. Tackles are expensive, right?
I think Paris Johnson's about to get extended, though.
Is he?
Right? He's in the same class as Stroud and Bryce.
Do tackles get extended the same year quarterbacks do, though? Like, do they get extended that year early?
The good players normally get extended early.
Either way, I think that it's good to have a young tackle duo, and Paris Johnson's definitely still young. And so I think that this is just a good pick either way. And I really just don't think the Cardinals have that many holes on their roster, so it's kind of a weird spot. Like I think it does make sense to go for a tackle, as it's one of it, like maybe 2 holes besides quarterback on the roster, and you're not taking a quarterback here, as we've discussed multiple times, unless you really, 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 really want to reach on Ty Simpson, but that wouldn't make any sense.
You're in a good position to take him in the second round.
So. Right. So just if he drops there, which we'll talk about, but I don't know. I just don't think that makes too much sense personally, and so I think Francis Mourinho was a good pick. Moving to 4, though, we got the Titans, and this is interesting. They just traded for an edge rusher, as we were just talking about. They just traded for Jermaine Johnson, which is interesting. Maybe that tells us that they're leaning a different direction than edge rusher, even though I do think that they want defense. They want Robert Saleh to have his guy. Because of this move, and that's not like Jermaine Johnson stopping you from taking an edge, but just because of the move, and we obviously want to switch it up every single time. I'm going to go receiver at this spot. I think they really could use a receiver. Obviously, they could use like 3. They do not have good receiver. I mean, maybe 2.
3.
I like IU Maynor, so
I like
2.
DK.
Yeah, as a returner,
as a third guy.
As a returner, he didn't really play much on the actual field.
He was definitely better than IU Maynor this year.
No way, not on the field. Not we need.
What?
You have to relook at that.
DK was good
on offense.
The second half of the season
on offense, he was not.
He was cooking.
I had him on my fantasy team. I promise.
Why?
It would be like 6 points, return touchdown, 0 catches for 0 yards.
Bro, he had like 100 and he had like back-to-back 100-yard games or something.
100% did not happen.
Well, maybe not 100, but he definitely had like 3 straight games of like 70.
No, he didn't. No,
he was cooking.
I'm telling you, he did not.
He was definitely the better receiver there.
He was not. It's not close either. IU Maynor probably had 300 more yards than him.
No way.
Like, way more.
IU Maynor probably had like 400 yards.
Should we check this? We fact check this?
Bro.
How do you spell his first name? IU Maynor. Okay, we're going to look at his stats.
He probably
had 515.
I would have guessed 530.
Chamire DK stats.
500.
You're seeing my spelling ability live. 423.
Yeah,
so
but
way
a lot of that
less.
was second half of the season. He didn't start early.
He didn't start early. Neither did IU Maynor.
He did.
27 yards, 40 yards, 17, 24, 8, 14, 5, 40, and...
You're looking at the beginning of the year.
That was end of year.
What was
the only one I
stretch?
skipped was 55. That was his good stretch. 40, 55, 27 is his best stretch.
What was his best game?
55. Oh, sorry, 93 way earlier in the year. But you told me not to look at early in the year. 93 and 70 were back-to-back very early in the year. That was October.
Yeah, late October.
10-19's late October.
Yeah. Past the halfway point.
So, yeah, I mean, he didn't. This just never happened. He never had a 100-yard game, by the way.
Just think he's better than IU Maynor.
I think that's a bad take. Anyway, that's not the point of this, but that was a little side tangent. I think that either way they need a receiver. Okay, they need a number 1 guy really badly. We talked about how Mekhi Lemon doesn't make sense to take in the a lot of situations in the top 10 and stuff, just because he's a slot guy. And obviously, if you believe in DK, he could probably play in there a little bit and stuff. So, I mean, I think he could complement IU Maynor if you think IU Maynor can be that good, but I just don't think they believe in him like that. I think they believe him as maybe his ceiling being a number 2 in the league. So it makes more sense to me to look at Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate. I think that they kind of fit the profile they're looking for here of the X receiver. And Jordan Tyson obviously struggled with a ton of injuries, super unfortunate for him. I just think there's a lot of uncertainty there. There's so much uncertainty with Jordan Tyson being like, well, what are we going to do with the injuries? Is he going to be okay? He's had one every single year of his college career or something like that. So just not good. And Carnell Tate is just exactly what you're looking for at a receiver. And he's still able to go this high playing a number 2 in college, which I think is super interesting. I don't think you're going to see that very often. Clearly playing a number 2 role, and yet he's still probably going to be a top 10 pick, if not definitely top half of the first round. And so that's where I'm going to go with this pick. I'm going to go Carnell Tate. I just think it makes sense for them. They need a receiver really badly. Nice 6'3" frame, and he moves really well for his size. He's a good route runner. And just does everything really well. He's not exquisite at anything, but he's really just good at everything.
I'd say his catch radius is very exquisite.
I mean, he's 6'3", and you can have exquisite's 6'5", and you
his
reach more.
Well, it's not just the reach.
Well,
it's just his play strength, everything he does at the catch point.
I just think he's a great all-around receiver.
He's a great jump ball guy.
Have you watched the film on Carnell Tate yet?
I've watched some. I haven't watched enough to make my full eval, but early comp, shall I say, slimmer George Pickens.
Interesting, really.
He moves a little bit better. Maybe not after they catch.
I actually think Pickens
as a
moves
route
really
runner,
well.
Yeah, I know. But
he's just an idiot.
Yeah, and he's obviously not quite as good at the catch point, so you have to like tune it a little bit more towards the slimmer version. But imagine Pickens was a little slimmer. Yeah,
imagine Pickens had a mindset to win games.
Yeah, and I mean I haven't seen anything from Cardinal Tate to say he doesn't. So.
To see if he'd be like Pickens. I mean Pickens could literally be.
Pickens was obvious at draft time that he had issues.
Yes, well, in my opinion, Pickens is an easily top 5 and possibly top 3 receiver in this league if he just focused.
I mean, it's a little glazed. Top 3 is glazed.
He was easily top 10 this season, and
obviously.
He did not care about anything except like getting thrown. Like he wouldn't try on a lot of plays.
That was like later in the year, though.
Yeah, when CeeDee Lamb came back,
he's like,
which should help
someone
him.
else this year.
Yeah, and he would like get pissed off. So like that's what I'm saying though. Like imagine George Pickens with like a mentality of like winning games and like being the best player he can be.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had any character issues come out about him, so.
Pickens?
Cardinal Tate.
Oh, I was like, yes, we have. Yeah, no, it's the Cardinal Tate. Like, obviously shows a lot of great signs. Like you said, nothing bad coming out about him. So, is he running the 40 this week?
I don't know.
I'm sure to see that long speed, but
I feel like
he's definitely just
he
a good
definitely
athlete.
get a lot of money by running that.
I agree, and I think he's just overall. I mean, he could easily go at 4 here, and maybe the them trading for an edge is a sign of that. So.
Yeah, it does. That is Saul's guy. He drafted him. He traded up. Actually, no. Did he?
I don't know.
Back end of the first round that one year, they took him. I mean, it was his choice to take him, and
I just think it's interesting because, like, I really do think it's between receiver and edge here, probably for them. And so trading for an edge is interesting, like before free agency even started, especially giving up like one of your better defenders.
And they drafted Oladejo in the second round last year, so you don't want to, plug up the spots too much.
Right.
So
we'll see, but I think that this could be leaning towards receiver for them.
I feel pretty strongly that Tate's going to be the first one off the board.
Yeah.
Not saying he's the best one. But.
I just think he fits the profile the best. Who do you got at 5, though, to the Giants?
Where to go? Arvell Reese? Abdul Carter? Brian Burns?
You want to add someone to the edge room?
That'd be kind of funny.
I'd be pretty
Arvell
shocked.
Reese with Abdul Carter.
I'd give you that, then I'd be shocked. So
that's like one of the worst picks they could make.
Yeah.
Ooh, wait a minute. I haven't seen this one.
What?
Kai Lemon replacing Wandale?
Yeah.
I mean, Wandale had a role there. A role that he did not deserve.
Hey, Makai would fit Neighbors really well. That'd be a lot.
I feel like that's the pick I haven't seen much, and I think him
that'd
at 5
be a lot of
is
fun.
A little bit much because he plays a lot in the slot, but I think.
Well, if you like him as much as you do, it's not too much.
More than a lot of the players that are going here, so.
It would be different. I actually kind of like that pick and kind of want to encourage you to do it because he would fit Neighbors so well. Like offense would be high powered. With him, Scattaboo, Neighbors, if Dart keeps developing.
Arvell Reese falling to 6 is kind of crazy.
The problem is you have Matt Nagy running the offense.
Oh.
So
that's so annoying. Why did he get another job?
Why did they hire anyone they hired?
I don't know.
They did such a bad job.
Well, I guess I'm going to go with Makai Lemon.
Wow.
From early stuff I've seen, I think he's the best receiver in the class. He just plays a less valuable role in the offense than Tate, who I think is a little worse at his role. But
I think it can be just as valuable.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're
showing
almost exclusively going to play in the slot, it's not because he can't play on the outside. It's because he does his best work in the slot.
It's because he's most valuable there. Which means that I don't think you should get docked for that.
Well, it's harder to get on a landing spot because a lot of teams have that
a slot
guy.
I agree, but I don't think it makes you less valuable, if that makes sense, because you're just as good of a player. And for the Giants specifically, they need a slot guy. It fits. You don't really want your X guy. You have that X guy, right? You have Malik Neighbors, so now a slot actually fits them better. So I think this is a really good pick that I really haven't even considered, but it actually makes a lot of sense. It just, do you want to add more to the offense when your secondary was that bad last season?
It's like Wandale taking the most steroids without dying.
Wow, that was a comp that I've never heard before. Anyway, moving on to 6. We got the Browns. We've done the same thing every time for them, which is tackle or receiver. I guess not the same thing every single time.
Or about Reese?
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Falling to 7 is kind of crazy.
You think he makes sense to go to the Browns? The Browns are 10,000% taking an offensive lineman, in my opinion. I think that you could also look at receiver, but it just makes so much sense to take offensive linemen. I mean, how do you pass on the O-line when all 5 of your O-linemen are free agents this season? Like, you have to get someone in there. So I'm just going to make the obvious pick here with how the board's falling. They got to go grab Spencer Fano. I actually saw a film breakdown of Spencer Fano recently talking about how he is the best tackle in the class over Maui Noah.
Interesting.
Just because his film is that elite. Apparently, I haven't watched too much of it, but I just saw a couple clips. It looks really great. And obviously, you know, a lot of offensive linemen is hearing those scouting reports. It's kind of hard to get offensive lineman film for sure. Most people aren't looking at offensive linemen.
We have it.
We do, which we have not done the full breakdown of yet.
I don't know. I feel more comfortable hearing what someone else analyzes from the film and deciding how valuable I think that is.
Interesting. But only for O-linemen.
Yeah, only for O-linemen. Also, kind of boring, let's be honest.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they just have to go linemen, or it's a bad pick. I mean, obviously, if, you know, Cardinal Tate falls to 6, which that's not really falling, but, like, comes to 6, and you can take him and you really like him, then sure. But I still think that you should take a lineman over that just because you need one so unbelievably bad, especially if you think Shador has any chance, which I actually saw something talking about how Deshaun Watson might start this year.
People said that last year, too. I was like, what are we doing? Deshaun Watson's not playing another snap.
No, the coach came out and said that Deshaun has a chance to start.
Well, everyone does. You want to make the illusion of competition.
Yeah, well, I was just saying.
Well, it's not really an illusion, but it's an illusion from him.
So
he's not playing.
Interesting. I mean, last year he didn't play because of injury, so
he was good. He was healthy in the second half of the year.
Yeah, but there was no point bringing him midway through the year when the season was already over.
Yeah, and it would have been more over even sooner with him. He was so bad when
I'm
he
not
played.
saying that it's a great decision. I'm just saying that it's a possibility.
I think that's gonna happen.
But Spencer Fano, easy pick here. One of the easiest I'll have this whole draft because even is pretty tough most of the time. So,
all right.
You got 7.
Makes this easy. Arvell Reese.
Yeah, if he's here, they probably take him.
Yeah, I mean, the last few teams didn't really make too much sense. Dan Quinn, everyone loves him calling defensive plays. You have to have a creative defensive play caller to take Arvell Reese, in my opinion. You have to have a plan for him because for me, what I ended up deciding is his best role is an early down linebacker because I don't trust him in coverage. So you have to kind of like scheme around his weaknesses because he's got a lot of weaknesses that no one's talking about. And if you want to be like standing on the edge, hand in the dirt, rushing the passer, he had 1 sack doing that this season.
And he's way undersized for
I
it.
watched 2-3 games of him, and I saw him maybe use one like actual move besides like just trying to run around or through someone. Like, it's weird. I mean, it's definitely a weird watch.
I don't know why everyone is so obsessed with him, even if he is a good prospect, which I haven't watched him too much. I know you have, but I take your word for the fact that like it's definitely not as good as people are acting like, right? Like, there's no way you're like that far off of your film watching. So,
well, someone's that far off.
Yeah, so I mean maybe, but I mean, interestingly, PFF actually has been talking about how he's not as elite. He's only got a 76 PFF grade.
Oh, just the grade.
So I think that's interesting, but he's just hella undersized too for an edge. So I don't know. It's just so weird. But let me tell you something. He feels like a commander. I don't know if you agree with that, but he feels like a commander to me. He feels like a guy. He's going to come in. He's going to be a bust. And
calling that early.
Not saying that I think he's going to be a bust, but he feels like it could be a bust, and going to the Commanders feels like a place where a bust would go. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I mean, Emmanuel Forbes, Jahan Dotson.
Maybe that's why. But, yeah, I think that if he's here, they're probably going to take him, though. Unless there's some major developments over the next month and a half before the draft where people will start disliking Arvell Reese.
I mean, right now, he's minus money to go at 2.
Maybe he's really, really slow at the combine, and then everyone's
he's running the 4.5s for sure.
But what if he, like, bulked up for the combine, so he weighed more?
He did.
So
there's just no way. I feel like, if anything, he'd slim down.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Fast.
I just think it's interesting. But moving on to 8, this is one I've always struggled with because I know a lot of people are like, Jeremiah Love. I still don't think they should take Jeremiah Love. I just don't think it makes that much sense. I think they definitely could. Like, they could, but I don't think it's the right decision, if that makes sense. Obviously, they have a good tackle duo for the future, that they're not going to take a tackle here or anything. Not that there's really one the way the board has fallen. I think something I've talked about in the past that I think is a little bit not talked about enough is they could definitely look at secondary here. I mean, their secondary definitely needs some help. I think their one is Kool-Aid McKinstry right now. Is that right? Or is it Alontae Taylor?
Whichever one you want, but Alontae Taylor's not there. He hasn't been re-signed, so.
Right, and Kawhi McKinstry was not very good. So, I feel like corner makes more sense to me. Personally, I just think that makes more sense. But at the same time, it's definitely a possibility. I mean, there's got to be a reason so many people are linking Jeremiah Love here. Maybe they really believe in Shuck. I mean, I could see them going Jeremiah Love to boost up that offense. And so I think for me, it comes down to Manslaughter Lane versus Love with how this sport has shaken up. Who do I want to take? I think I'm going to take Love just because, and again, I don't love the pick, but no pun intended, but I think that it's definitely a big possibility, and I usually pass on him if he's here. So I'm just going to take him this time. Plus, it keeps him from going to the Chiefs, which I don't want. So
yeah, they should get the player you like more.
Well, don't take him.
Okay.
Take a receiver. Like, Mahomes needs more help.
Every time we don't take Jeremiah Love, someone complains.
For the Saints? Yeah.
They're like, why wouldn't you give Shuck a weapon? We need one badly.
I mean, yeah, you need weapons, but you also have two good ones.
Two.
Olave and Jawan Johnson are both good weapons.
I mean, I wouldn't call him a good weapon. He's a fine tight end. He's not a good weapon.
If with Dobbins hurt, did we have a weapon besides Sutton that was better than Johnson?
I don't know.
Their number one weapon was better than ours, and their number two
weapon was your line, and your number two was Sutton.
Stop, bro.
Okay, just saying.
Stop,
Don't
bro.
shoot the messenger.
Stop, bro. Okay, what about the Saints line? It's good.
It's solid. Their interior has some holes.
It's the Broncos O-line, the only line ever that that's the reason the quarterback sucks, but because of the O-line, he looks all right.
The Eagles, we had an argument for that for Hurts.
And their O-line got 15 times worse.
Yeah, it did.
But I think that, I don't know. I just think that's a dumb thing to say. My point being, they're clearly not in a terrible spot. Obviously, you want to get a running back in there. You want to get a second receiver. But you're picking at 8, and you can get a position that's bigger need, in my opinion. And if Shuck's the guy, then, obviously you want to put weapons around him. But you're not. I don't think you are so confident on Shuck being the guy that you're willing to, risk throwing away the 8th overall pick. Not throwing away, but, drafting a guy who, you might not be able to do anything with. It could be a Barkley situation, right, where you just don't have a quarterback good enough to compete with him. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth the risk.
Yeah.
We saw it with, obviously different situation, but we saw it with Genty last year. Went to the wrong team. They're way behind, and it doesn't look like they're going to compete anytime soon, much less with Genty on the team. So, anyway, 9 at Chiefs. Or Chiefs at 9. Sorry. Who do you got?
I don't know if this is worse, but I think it's much worse. I'm going to take Caleb Downs.
Whoa, why? What about Brian Cook?
Brian Cook's walking in free agency. They don't have money to keep him.
Yeah, so they also don't want to keep him because he's terrible.
He's not that bad, bro.
They could use a safety, though.
They have Jaden Hicks. I like him. Shamari Connor in the slot. But you can upgrade on those guys. You can
Definitely
take Caleb Downs, and also two of those. They're already playing right now, so all 3 of them could play at once. So
arguably best player in the class.
Arguably. And obviously, Ruben Bay does have a risk attached to him with his arms being short. It's not like I think he's just going to be a bad player, but there's a chance that, there's a chance he doesn't work out just because of his arm length.
Right. So.
And I think that there's no chance Caleb Downs doesn't work, even if it's not, worth the pick at 10 or.
Because at least an okay safety. Yeah. So, I definitely.
I haven't seen that one.
I'm kind of pissed where the Chiefs are at. They're such a good spot.
You can get
someone's
Caleb
going
Downs, Jeremiah Love, or Ruben Bain.
Someone has to fall to them.
One of the top 5 players in the draft.
So, anyway, that sucks.
Yeah,
freaking sucks.
It does suck.
At 10 here to the Bengals, we have some options. A lot of players have fallen. We have some options.
This.
What?
They would love this.
Oh yeah, they got 2 great. Honestly, they got 4 great options in my opinion. Obviously, we're looking defense here. There's not a tackle available or anything they would look to help protect Joe Burrow. And you're not taking receiver or anything, so we're going to go straight to defense, which has clearly been the problem. Trey Hendrickson is gone. He's finally gone. But you drafted Shamar Stewart last year. He obviously is not going to be good. That was pretty obvious from day one.
Let's not shut the door on that already.
I shut the door when
early signs don't look good, but...
And the signs in college didn't look good, and the signs...
He might be their best pass rusher right now. It's not like he's
problem.
Your second edge rusher, and you're like, we might want to replace him.
That's only because no one else
Miles Murphy, Joseph Osai, and...
You hear why.
Yeah. Ooh, Joseph Osai. You hear why.
Dude, Miles Murphy is their third pass rusher. That's the reason that he's number 1.
Mm-hmm. I'd argue Osai's better.
That's not... Oh my gosh. Like this is the conversation we're having. They clearly use an edge, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are hesitant to give them an edge because they took one last year, which does make sense, but they're still gonna want one, right? Their secondary could use some help. They don't really have a good secondary. And honestly, everywhere could use help. Everywhere could use help. So I think all of these would be good picks. Either of the corners. I do think that they took who's the linebacker they took last year?
Demetrius
Knight. So maybe not Sonny Styles, but still would be a good pick for them in my opinion. You do play 2 linebackers, but I think I'm gonna go Ruben Bain pretty comfortably here. The slide stops. Maybe they don't care about his short arms, but you need an edge bad. Even if you think Shamar Stewart's the guy, you need a second edge anyway. So at 10, he fell to you. You're taking him every time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree with that. You get kind of some stability on that defensive line.
Also, he's dense on the field. It's so funny to watch Ruben Bain. He is a dense boy. 6'3", 270. So, very interesting, but I think he's going to be good in the league, despite his short arms and his dense body.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be too picky at 10 if you can get a guy who's arguably
the
top 3 player in the class.
Yeah.
He's got a couple issues.
So, at 11, to the Dolphins.
Which one should I take today?
Dude, this is so good.
I'm going to take Mansour Delane.
Yeah.
Oh, Mansour Delane.
I think people are going to be more open to him since he played this season.
And he's a technician. I was watching Casey Concepcion, and I mean, he's sticking to him like glue every time he was on him. It was really nice. He's got really good coverage skills, really good mirroring ability. Heard he's good in zone, too. Didn't watch him too much in zone, mostly in man, because I was watching Casey Concepcion. I haven't really gotten to corners yet. But it seems like he's got a high floor. He does have a bit shorter arms, kind of like a shorter corner build. Maybe 6 foot.
Yeah, he's 6.
Probably a little under, and short arms. So,
but he's a great corner.
He might not
prospect.
be able to play press with his short arms, is what people have said. But I mean, do the Dolphins? There's no shot they were pressing this season with those corners.
How many corners in the league are actually good enough to press right now? There's not that many.
It's not that.
And you
most
don't
corners
have to
can press.
And you don't have to be good at corner to press. Sorry, you don't have to be good at press to be a good corner.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
you can play corner without
if you're
pressing.
so good and you can't press, oh well, the defense just won't press.
Right, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
they're obviously taking a corner. Whoever's here, they're taking him. They need one so unbelievably bad. Caterco, who is a free agent on top of all their issues, so
we just found that out.
They want one so unbelievably bad. They're taking one. I don't think we need to explain anything else here. 12. This is one of the hardest picks we struggle with every single time, but today it is not. I don't think. Looking at the Cowboys here, they could use a lot on defense. They could use. This says running back. I just don't agree with that.
They just re-signed Javonte, so
doesn't make any sense. They could definitely use an edge, but I mean, do you really want to take Cassius Howell or Keldrick Folk here? Not really. We've taken Keldrick Folk a couple times just because it doesn't feel like there's that many options. We could take Sonny Styles here, which is the easy pick, but at the same time, they have. That's basically their only defender.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused why so many people mock it. I like Sonny Styles a lot, but
you have Overshown, who's a great linebacker.
We kind of act like they don't have a linebacker because last season Overshown was hurt and they were playing Kenneth Murray,
which I get that, but at the same time, you need so much more. You have Quentin Williams, obviously, so you don't need desperate help on the interior, but you really need an edge. You do need a second linebacker. You could really use a safety. I mean, we couldn't even name their safeties last time, and they could really use a corner. So, I'm looking at Jermod McCoy here, and I'm thinking that might be an easier pick and a better pick than Sonny Styles. But at the same time, I really want Jermod McCoy to go 13. I've been trying to get it in so many drafts. So many mock drafts have been trying to get him to go 13,
okay,
bro.
Well, I literally control that pick, so.
You just not take him out of spite?
Yeah, maybe not. You shouldn't be. That should not affect your pick at all.
I thought this was the
Help
time.
Help out your team. I'm going to do mine.
Okay. I'm going to take Jermod McCoy. It's the best pick available for them. They really need a corner, whether people believe that or not. They obviously got rid of Trayvon Diggs. People think Deron Bland's the stuff. He's not. They just have a lot of issues, I think, on this whole roster. And when you get a player like Jermod McCoy, even though he didn't play this season, you don't pass that up.
Yeah.
At 12, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen them taking too many corners, but Chavon Revel, I think is just how you pronounce it. I pronounced it wrong the whole draft process, so I really just don't know. But he was not that great this season, but solid prospect who is kind of recovering from an injury, so got to give him a little grace. Plus, it's not like I mean, he's their second best corner right now. So
Yeah.
And then you got Deron Bland, who actually might be their second best corner instead, depending on which one you like more. But
And he's getting paid almost the same as Patrick.
yeah, he'll probably play slot. So.
They need to cut him.
I don't even know if his contract's cuttable.
He's getting paid too much. Anyway, but yeah, Jermod McCoy. I really wanted you to go to the Rams. No idea who you're going to take at the Rams spot now.
I think it's easy.
Interesting. Oh,
I don't think
I know
it's
who you're
realistic just because they don't value this position very much.
Is it Peter Woods?
Historically, no.
Really?
Taking Sonny Styles.
I don't agree with that.
Why?
They're not taking him.
Who's their best linebacker?
Landman was really good this season.
Who is their second best linebacker? Because Omar Spates? Wait, no, he's on the Panthers now. Who is their second best linebacker?
I don't think people care that much about their second linebacker.
Okay, what do you care? You care about their third DT?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can play 3 DTs at the same time.
You can play 2 linebackers at the same
yeah,
time,
but
and you
DT's
do
way
it
more
in every
valuable.
personnel.
I know, but I think they like their
all
linebackers.
around the field.
I like
Landman, but he's very limited by his athleticism, and Sonny Styles is not.
Yeah.
Sonny Styles is a superstar.
I just don't know how realistic this is.
Yeah, I don't either. But if McCoy,
it would be a great pick. I think it'd be a great
Delane, and what's the other pick we know? Oh, Mekhi Lemon are all off the board. So I think
this would be a great pick because their defense would be legit. But they need secondary help. Obviously, the corners aren't here. They could really, really use a corner.
I'm not taking corner here, and the safeties aren't here either.
Right,
and their safeties were good this season.
Yeah, their safeties are fine, but
you just need an outside corner.
So, I mean, it makes sense, but it just doesn't feel like they're gonna pick him.
Yeah, they haven't prioritized linebacker, and I get that, but he's a special player. You got to make exceptions for
6'5"
blue chip players.
6'5" at the linebacker position,
and he's gonna run really well at the combine.
And he's got safety speed, so he's gonna be a fun player, and we'll see where he goes. Drops 13 in this mock.
Yeah, it's the lowest you'll see nowadays, basically.
14 here. We've had the same conversation with the Ravens every single time, it feels like, where, you could take D-line if you're worried about Madubuike, and you could take guard if you want to help the run, and to get rid of Falele, because he is terrible.
I think he's a free agent.
Right, or to replace Falele, sorry. Very interesting to look at this. I mean, Caleb Banks, obviously flown up the board. I think he's an option here. Super athletic, big player that, again, had an amazing Senior Bowl, I believe, that's pushing him way up the board. So he's someone I'm looking at here. Obviously, Vega's still someone you're looking at here at the guard position. Peter Woods could be someone you look at, someone that had a down year but has shown that talent and was on a Clemson team that I think we're really just giving the, okay, you were on Clemson, that's why you had a down year type thing.
Also, quarterbacks, I saw a stat. They were Nussmeier got the ball out of his hands a half second quicker than the rest of the season, and all the quarterbacks got the ball out quicker against Clemson. So I guess that was just their game plan. Everyone who went up against them was like, "Don't let them win. Just get rid of it quickly."
That's super interesting. But I think I've gone Vega maybe both times that I was here at 14. I'm not sure.
I went receiver both times.
But I mean, Tyson also makes sense to go here. But I kind of want to switch it up. I want to go interior D-line. I don't know if we've taken that a single time, and I think it makes some sense, and I think people have been mocking it, if I'm correct. So I'm going to either go Peter Woods or Caleb Banks. I don't necessarily know which one is going to go higher. I'm going to go Caleb Banks here just because I feel like I've seen Peter Woods fall way more, and I've seen Caleb Banks rise way more because of the athleticism and all that. So I'm just going to take him here, say Ravens get Caleb Banks, see where Peter Woods falls to. Again, I think that's a super interesting situation between the two of them and where Peter Woods is going to go because he's clearly one hell of an athlete. I've seen him drop to the Broncos at 30. Definitely wouldn't be complaining about that.
He will not drop to 30.
Yeah, I would
in
be
our mock draft at least.
I would be very surprised. So I'm going to go Caleb Banks here. A bit of a weird pick, but you can play him next to Madubuike if he even is able to come back and be healthy.
You do have Travis Jones. You just paid, though. But
I did forget about Travis Jones.
They also, Madubuike is a real concern.
Yeah.
He's
always hurt. So, and who knows when he'll be back. So you take a guy that can possibly replace him on that D-line, which the defense is strong again. With Minter in there, I think the defense can be really, really good, and I think they could add to it. And with a defensive-minded head coach, maybe you're looking at defense in the first round of this draft.
Yeah.
So, who you got at 15?
A guy who's going to go a lot earlier than everyone wants him to. And I don't know if there's many people who are higher than consensus. Kind of weird. But I think Keldrick Falk's going to end up going up here.
Really? To
And
the
the
Bucks.
Bucks have been, over the past few seasons, or the past 4 years, have been trying to find a good pass rusher in the draft. They just always want to do it at the beginning of the second round. They tried it with what's his name? Shoot. It's like a weird name. He ended up on the Bears. Let's start with an S. It's like S and the last I don't know. Anyway, he was terrible. And then you got Logan Hall, who's now walking in free agency because he didn't have a good season or like a good career on the Bucks. Yaya Diaby, you hit him on like 5th round, but it's hard to find edge rushers that late in the draft, and they don't have another one. I don't even know. They played Reddick this year, but he's obviously also a free agent this season. And they're trying to find a good pass rusher, but they just haven't been willing to address it in the first round. So.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to finally address in the first round, Keldrick Fulk's not the right place to look.
Why not? He's athletic.
He's
just
big. Athletic.
He's huge.
Cool. He's not
we got another
player.
Giant athletic run defender on our hands.
Yeah, just what I like.
Bro, and they always come up, and then everyone gets excited. Actually, well, not this year. People aren't liking him this year. But last year, people were really excited about Mykel Williams.
Yeah.
Very similar prospect. I haven't watched them. I haven't watched Falk, but very similar scouting reports.
Well, moving on to 16 here for the Jets. We were talking about earlier how they have a second first-round pick, and I really think like if they make the right pick at 2, they can make some damage very early into this rebuild because you got Tavondre Sweat, you've got whoever you take at 2, and you've got this pick. You can get some great players on that defensive side of the ball, or you also could look Jordan Tyson's way here, get a second receiver in there next to Garrett Wilson finally to have someone maybe to be able to develop a quarterback. I think that if they hadn't just traded for Tavondre Sweat, Peter Woods would be my runaway pick here, easily pick. And honestly, I'm still considering it. It's like him and Tavondre Sweat together might be really cool and really fun. So I'm considering it, but there's honestly not a ton of people that fit besides him and Tyson, I think, at this spot. I think it's probably between those two. Yeah, nobody else really fell, but I feel like you want to take. You want to look corner, but those guys are obviously long gone. Linebacker, I mean, it's a bit of a reach for sure to take anybody else because Sonny Styles is obviously long gone. So I think I'm just going to go Jordan Tyson, get the last receiver off the board here.
Interesting.
I don't think he's the best fit with Garrett Wilson necessarily, but I just think they want 2 good receivers on the outside there, and you'd immediately have a great offensive line that's super young and developing, and 2 great receivers that are young and developing, you hope, obviously, with Jordan Tyson. And that's a great situation to then look to the future to draft your quarterback, maybe even as soon as next season, and get in there and develop. And I think that's exactly what people should have been doing, is building the team around the player before they develop the QB. And I think the Jets are they can, with the draft capital they have, they can easily put themselves in a situation to do that.
Does a Tavondre Sweat trade really not at all make you think Ty Simpson's an option now? I mean, you heard those options that you're going through. Like you had like 2 that you were thinking of.
Ty Simpson to the Jets.
I still think Peter Woods would be who I would have picked.
Interesting.
Because their DT's now
Tavondre Sweat
and no one else.
Yeah, but
is Adam Butler? Is that who it is? I think they got someone from the Raiders who had an okay year.
I don't know, bro. I don't think that. I would really hate if they took Simpson. I think that'd be a horrible pick.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it either, but I think it's pretty high.
I mean, it'd be a good situation, obviously, for him to come into.
You still need 2 DTs, starting. So
I think what they need to do is they need to not take a quarterback this year, get Aaron Glenn fired, and then you got a great situation.
Well, you don't want to even get him fired. You don't want to do anything, and he's going to get fired.
Yeah.
He's the most obvious, I'm going to get fired candidate ever.
Yeah.
I don't understand. He should have just been gone already. But the thing with Tyson is why I don't like the pick is because you just traded for Adonai Mitchell, who I want to be playing on the outside. The only receiver I don't feel comfortable with that's starting is John Mechie, who's going to be playing the slot. So I think 3rd round, maybe you get a Brennan Thompson, Zachariah Branch, someone like that.
Branch would be a great pick.
I would like that a lot better, less capital invested.
Adonai Mitchell's not stopping me from taking a receiver that I think is great. I think
Adonai Mitchell.
If you think Tyson's a top 10
potential,
a top 10 talent, in the draft, then you take him at 17.
With the injury concerns?
Yes, you still take him at 17 and replace Adonai Mitchell. And Adonai Mitchell can obviously still get snaps.
Maybe at 17, but not at 16. That's crazy.
16, sorry.
Just kidding.
All right, 17 on the clock. You got the Lions.
All right, Lions. I think I'm going to go with a pick I have seen multiple other people make. A guy who hasn't gotten our first rounds very much for whatever reason. Keem Messidor is what I'm going to be taking here. Cassius Howell's arm length is going to be so bad. I've seen people talk about how it might be some of the lowest we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why is this guy going so high? Because his film is not Ruben Bain's film. There's a reason why we can say, maybe I don't care about Ruben Bain's arm length, because he was so dominant. He was a freak. And Cassius Howell was pretty productive, but he's another guy like Bailey, who I even worry more about him than Bailey for playing on early downs. So, and Messidor is a very complete player right now, even if he's a bit old. So.
Yeah, he gets to slot into that number 2 role just like he was in college. And
yeah, I mean, you get him for 5 years, so it's not that big of a deal that he's old.
Yeah.
So he's definitely the best one on the board for day one.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's kind of what the Lions are looking for. They're looking to get back to competing, hopefully get an offensive coordinator that knows any idea of what he's doing, and really just get in there and compete right away. And I think Keem Messidor is a perfect pick to complement that, so I think it just makes sense. At 18, we've made this pick quite a few times, I feel like, but recently we actually haven't been, as he hasn't been falling. But I think that I'm just looking at Emmanuel McNeil-Warren here. It just feels like one of their only holes. They don't have a ton of big holes that can be filled at this spot. And I feel like this is one of the only ones. Interestingly enough, I'm not going to try to say his name, but the Oregon safety,
Dylan Thieneman.
Oh, is that? I thought it would be like Tiananmen or something. Like that's what I would.
He's white.
That's what.
So it's not his name.
Well, that's what I would have guessed. That's why I didn't say it. So, he actually moved ahead by quite a bit on the PFF board.
Over McNeil-Warren?
By a lot. He's ranked 22nd now, and McNeil-Warren's 37th. So
McNeil-Warren's definitely going early right now, but I heard Thieneman says he wants to run a 4.3, and if he runs a 4.3, he's probably taking over.
Yeah,
so.
Well, I didn't know they jumped that much. Don't know why or the context.
I think it's just PFF. But I don't, or just Trevor. I don't know.
But I'm gonna put McNeil-Warren at this spot. It just feels like one of the only options, and it's the easy pick. I'm going to take all the easy picks I can get.
Yeah, I mean, feels like we've kind of locked safety into the Vikings. It's kind of boring, but if, Jeremiah Love doesn't fall, they don't have that many needs. Maybe a DT low-key. Like, who's their best one?
Yeah, Peter Woods could have gone.
Hargrave, I think. So then they'd have, Jonathan Allen, who's like 31, and then... Oh, they did take Tyleik Williams in the first... Or was that... No, they didn't. That was the Lions. I get those picks mixed up because I actually wasn't even ready for either of them to go in round 1, so that's kind of weird. But, yeah, I think DT is an underrated need for them. I don't know if PFF has that listed. I didn't check, but I think that's something we should have talked about a bit more. But Peter Woods is off the board now to the Panthers because they do not have another DT on that roster I'm comfortable playing. 2 years ago, we saw what happened when Derek Brown went down early in the season. Historically bad run defense comes back, very average run defense, which
that is a huge
step forward. Yeah. Derek Brown should have been talked about like a couple words for Depoy.
Thrown his name in there?
Yeah, like just toss it in. I don't want him to win, obviously. Myles Garrett had the most sacks ever, but he definitely deserved an underrated shout out there. And if you have a guy like Peter Woods learning under him, Derek Brown's like, 28 at this point? Like
probably maybe even a bit younger, maybe 27.
You think he's younger? I mean, he's a very good player, and he can learn. Peter Woods can learn under him, so.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I figured you were going to take him there. At 20 here to the Cowboys.
I hate making that pick. 20.
It's the worst pick in the draft, probably. Already went corner with Jermod McCoy, so you're obviously not really looking at Avian Terrell here or anything. I'm leaning. I don't even know, dude. It is such a bad spot. I mean, you could take safety for them now that he's jumping up the board for them. So that actually might make some sense because their safeties are in a horrible, horrible position. You could take C.J. Allen here if you want another linebacker to go with Overshown. But I think I'm just going to go safety here because he's got a 91 PFF grade.
Well, he's white, and he's just high on the board.
When did they randomly throw him up?
Well, it makes sense. Like, he seems like the guy that would have a good PFF grade.
Yeah, yes, that's true. But basically, point being,
rich.
It just
first Thieneman on the board.
It feels like I'm just gonna go safety here because I'm seeing him jump up on PFF, so maybe he'll start jumping up. It feels like the biggest positional need that can actually be filled at this spot. It's just a weird pick for them. Feels like a trade down spot if someone's here that like falls or something. So maybe they can get away with that. But overall, I think it's not a bad pick for them.
Yeah, I agree.
21.
Well, I think it's not the best pick, but
it could be worse.
I haven't watched his film, so I don't know. If he runs a 4.3, though, I very much understand.
Yeah.
Because that's insane. Okay, here at 21. It's a tough one for the Steelers, in my opinion. But I'm going to go with the guy surging up boards, as I said he would, Omar Cooper Jr.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of where he'll end up staying. I don't think he's going to go much higher, but all the top receivers are off the board. I think he's quite clearly the next guy on my board. And if the NFL likes Denzel Boston a bit more, sure, you can like him, but he doesn't fit the Steelers as well as Omar Cooper does. Omar Cooper would be an insane fit next to DK Metcalf. Really get that ready for your quarterback. A lot of people want to see Ty Simpson here, but I think 21's a bit early. If you want to trade up, maybe you could go up and get him again, but 21, dude, you got to make an impactful pick, and there's a chance Ty Simpson completely misses, and I think Omar Cooper will not.
Yeah, Omar Cooper looks amazing early on. You got me on to Omar Cooper, and I absolutely love what I've seen
now
so
everyone
far.
else is shoving him up the board. He's a third-round prospect, and I'm like, this guy should be going round 1, and then like
Everyone just
a
decided
month
that
later,
they agree.
oh, I love this guy.
Yeah, so
annoying.
interesting, but hopefully he falls to 30, and we take him because that'd be
earlier. That
freaking
seemed like a
awesome.
reach when I took him there. Now it's like, please.
So we'll see, but he's a great prospect, and I think that's a great pick for the Steelers, who could obviously use some help there. Number 22, Vega, next. No, it's as easy as that. If Vega is here, they're taking him. 99 times out of 100. Like, you have to just take him. He is a phenomenal guard prospect and literally one of their only holes on the entire roster. And it is a massive hole. I mean, the holes that they created for the defense to come through to get to Justin Herbert were so big. And this will fill those holes. So I think this is a great pick. It's the obvious pick. Easy pick. Give me another easy pick. I'm not even thinking about this one.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. Zion Johnson is a free agent. He's maybe their best interior lineman this season. Low bar, but
it's a different set of problems.
Bradley Bozeman retired, so you can't really retain him, unfortunately.
Dude, I saw the announcement for that. It said Bradley Bozeman retired. At the top comment was, "We're throwing something on the grill, baby. Let's go." I was like, oh my god,
poor guy.
He's like 28.
He had an okay career before he went to the Chargers. Then it ended.
Did he?
He was solid on the Panthers. He was a starting caliber player.
Dude, he's not even a backup caliber.
So bad. I mean,
one of the worst center seasons in NFL history.
You can fill your number one need at whatever pick they're at. That late in the first round with the number one player at his position.
In the class.
I mean,
you're going to take that every time.
Slam dunk pick right there. So easy.
Yeah. So. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go before their pick, but
I really hope he's there and they just don't take him.
Dude, that'd be so funny. Herbert would be like, are we being for real? Like, he'd be so mad. But yeah, I mean, they got to take him. It's pretty obvious to me. 23, Eagles.
Man, I think I'm going to take Avian Terrell. I think it gives them a lot.
I don't think they're going to take him.
Corner flexibility. He doesn't necessarily have to play early on. Hopefully, he's starting by the end of his rookie season. He's only like 20 right now, about to turn 21, I believe. He can play a slot. He can play outside. Mostly an off-coverage player, and he's a little sus against the run, so I don't know if I'd want to play him in the slot personally. But you already have Cooper DeJean, who's a phenomenal run defender and a great slot corner, so I don't think it's a bad pick necessarily. I'm excited to watch Terrell. People have very different opinions on him.
I'm not saying it's a bad pick because I do think he's probably a good prospect with how young he is and how, he did have a down season with the ball coming out super quick. That kind of makes sense. He's probably going to allow a lot of catches. And if he's not a good tackler, he's not good against the run, which makes me assume he's not a good tackler, then you're going to struggle against those quick passes. So it would kind of make some sense. But he's extremely young. He had a great season the year before. So he's probably going to develop. And, I don't think he's a bad pick by any means before watching him. But I don't think he fits the Eagles at all. They need someone proven that can just get in there and be an okay number 2 corner. You got your guy at number 1. You got your guy in the slot who can your guy in the slot is one of the best run defending corners in the NFL. So you really have those roles filled. You just need a guy who's not going to get toasted every single play like Jackson did last season.
I don't think Terrell will. But early on, there's going to be some bumps.
It's risky to take a guy that's so developmental when you just need a guy who is okay at that position.
Yeah, that makes sense. They just don't have a ton of
If you think he can develop into a superstar, then I think it's a slam dunk because you will have the best secondary in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So,
if you can retain Reed Blankenship, of course.
that is the most important part. So. But yeah, I just think I don't know. I don't see them doing it because it doesn't fit as much, in my opinion. I think they go for someone in the offseason and get a veteran corner.
There's just like not really a guy here that I feel maybe like a tackle to be the.
I've struggled with this pick multiple times.
They could get a tackle to like develop under Lane Johnson, maybe.
It could.
Caden Proctor is the kind of guy they normally would go after.
Number 24, another easy pick for me with the way the board's fallen. Denzel Boston. I think he fits what the team wants and needs pretty well. Big receiver who can play on the other side of Judy. Judy can also play in the slot a little bit or quite a bit. And you have Harold Fannin, obviously. You're developing that offensive line. You drafted, I think I took Spencer Fano for them earlier. So you want to look at receiver here. Denzel Boston is still on the board. I think that they're going to have a hard time passing on him.
Yeah, it's the exact thing that they want. They want a guy with good hands. Denzel Boston has that. He might not be the best separator, but it's not like a huge red flag. For a guy at that size, he separates okay.
He's huge.
He's really big. He's like 6'4". A lot of people have comped him to like a Cortland Sutton type player, but
and that's exactly what
he's got a little more wiggle. I think he's a little bit more athletic.
That's not hard.
Yeah, but I'm saying like he's not super limited as just like a jump ball guy. He can do a little bit of separating, especially if he can develop.
Any jump ball guy that has less wiggle than Cortland Sutton is not going in the first round.
Sutton went in the first, right? Or he went in the second rounder, right?
The third round.
You sure?
Yep, third round out of SMU. I remember the pick in 2018.
Yeah, I remember he's from
Took
SMU
him this year
too.
from Bradley Chubb. I know. I remember seeing you know how they always show the highlights after. Like I have a vivid memory of him with doing a one-handed catch on the highlights. And me and my dad were like, "That was nice. Maybe he'll be good." And I was like 12 years old.
Almost every receiver has a catch that you could say that about.
Right, but I was like, little me saw the one-handed catch. Was like, "That's our player. I like Cortland Sutton." And so that was like, I have a vivid memory of that. So I know that he went in the third round. But
okay.
I should probably fact check this actually. Make sure I'm not sounding like an
absolute second round.
Sutton draft pick. Okay. So,
you want the second?
No. So, moving on.
Where did he go?
Anyway, 25 for the Bears. Who do you got?
Bro, where did he go?
Who do you got?
You go in the second?
Who do you got?
I'm probably gonna take. There's both the DTs that they normally take are on the board still. I just wish they had a little more juice as a pass rusher. I think Lee Hunter is a little underrated in the pass rush game. Caden McDonald has no pass rush game. So I'm a little confused why he's going the first when, like, just to make a Packers example, TJ Slayton, we got him in the 5th round. He started for us for a couple seasons, was a good run defender that makes like $8 million a year. Like, those are not the guys I think you should take in the first round.
Right.
I'm going to take TJ Parker for them because I really like TJ Parker.
That's not who I would have gone with.
Not a huge fan of Austin Booker. Bit of that's a little personal biased, but he's also like not. I mean, he can still play as your third pass rusher. I think he's a good third pass rusher. Montez Sweat, I think, is very overrated, and I think TJ Parker within a couple seasons probably will be better because I think what is Montez Sweat 29? He's going to start falling off. A lot of what he does relies on athleticism, so I think you need to start making a plan for pass rush.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but I would have personally gone C.J. Allen, I think. I think they need linebacker help pretty bad. And Edmonds is walking, is that right?
He's being cut.
Oh, he's being cut, yeah. So I think you could use some help there, but T.J. Parker's not a bad pick, and he's been rising a lot recently. So at 26 to the Bills, this is such a weird pick because they obviously want to go receiver. I think that they're going to be looking at receiver and probably trade up for one is actually my guess, but I don't think they're taking Casey Concepcion here. There's just not.
Casey Concepcion just plays too similar of a role to Khalil Shakir.
There's just no one here that they're going to take at the receiver position. They could take C.J. Allen. They could use
Malachi Fields.
They could.
That's what everyone wants Mock right now.
Why?
Because he's big and can't separate.
They could take a linebacker.
And he's flashy.
I think linebacker could be very helpful for them, actually, if they wanted to look like C.J. Allen's way. But looking at everything else, I just don't really see a ton of opportunity for the positions they need, right? They're not going to like reach on Cisse here, I don't think, because they just took Hairston. So
I don't know why everyone wants corner for them. I don't think it makes too much sense.
So honestly, like, do I just go C.J. Allen? Is that crazy?
I mean, it's really not that crazy. Milano's always hurt, and I don't know if he's on their team next year. I'm not positive.
They need linebacker. PFF has it as a need as well. I'm going to take him. It's like the only need like somewhat need that they have that I feel like they can actually fill at this spot. And so like I just feel like it's the only pick that makes
Chris
some
Bell
sense.
didn't tear his ACL.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a great pick. I think they should still honestly consider it.
They probably will.
Yeah, I mean,
They'll consider every
size,
receiver.
speed, vertical threat, kind of what they wanted from.
Dude, they'll consider freaking Skylar Bell at this spot.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they will. They'll consider every receiver.
Skylar Bell's not going in. I don't even know if he's going in day 2.
They'll consider every receiver, bro. Like every single one. They
Skylar
need
Bell
one
would be
so
like the
bad.
worst pick of all time because he does not fit what they need at all.
It'd be funny though.
I think Malachi Fields would be more funny.
All of them would be funny.
But anyway, with the 49ers,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be taking Trent Williams. I don't know if you saw. They can't figure out what they're going to do because they're paying him more than they want to. They're trying to figure something out with him. He doesn't want to budge. He might get cut. So I think I'm going to take Caleb Lomu here, a developmental lineman. If somehow Trent Williams does stay, Caleb Lomu doesn't have to play, and that's great, and he can develop behind Trent Williams, who probably won't be on the team next year. I'd feel pretty confident about that. And then you can get that little smooth transition. Worst case scenario, you get your rookie on the field early. It's not that bad. You can take some rookie mistakes, learn in a scheme that's been very lineman friendly. They churn out these linemen. I think of Mike McGlinchey. I always forget my guy's name. We signed him for way too much.
Aaron Banks.
I don't know why I always forget his name.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Mike McGlinchey's really getting
Anyway,
churned out.
No, I'm just saying they leave and they look way worse. They get paid a
So
crap ton
bad.
of money and they just look way worse.
Yeah.
So it's just a very friendly scheme for linemen. And the Chiefs paid Jalen Moore, I believe, on the last offseason, like $20 million or something.
I think it was 15 per.
He's not playing, so
I remember. I think it was 3 or 45.
it was like a bridge lineman contract.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, 28 to Texans. I'm going to go with a pick that I don't necessarily think is a great pick, but I think it's a pick that is super realistic, and that's Caden Proctor here. I don't know if we've gone to the Texans yet. I know you hate Caden Proctor. I know we watched a game where he just got absolutely obliterated every play, it felt like. Like, he just wasn't good. But he is massive, and he must have some good games this season. He's got an 86 PFF grade. People really like him.
whoa, that's really high.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be the guy they'd grade lower, but they'd have higher.
So I feel like he's got to have done something. He's not even 21 yet, and he's 6'7", 366 pounds. I mean, just a big boy. And I'm confident he can be a good guard from what I've seen. If he's not a good tackle, and this line just kind of needs help, they're gonna take a tackle, pretty much guaranteed. It feels like, and you know what, you could move him inside if it really doesn't work out. So I think that he kind of makes some sense for them, and I think it's a pick they would want to go towards because obviously his ceiling's pretty darn high. It's just that his floor's pretty darn low when it comes to playing tackle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what we saw obviously was really bad, but everyone seems to love him, and they're saying his tape's amazing. So now I'm like,
what game did we watch?
I mean, we watched the playoff game, the most important game where he went up. I mean, to be fair, our Mason Thomas is a really bad matchup for him, but it's supposed to be because he runs around him.
It wasn't really our Mason Thomas that was beating him, though. It was the other guy. Our Mason Thomas was rushing from the other side.
The other guy we don't care about because he's not going to get drafted.
Right. Well, I know Thomas also beat him a couple times, but like most of the time he was rushing from the other side.
Yeah.
29 to the Rams. I think you got an easy pick here.
What?
You know who to take, bro. If he's here at 29, I think the Rams take him.
Brandon Cisse.
No, that's not who.
That's what I'm taking.
I think that's the wrong. I mean,
They
obviously, I
need a corner so bad.
That's obviously a better pick, but that's not who I think they're going to go with. If they're
You're saying Ty Simpson?
If he's here, I think they go with him.
I don't know. I just think their window right now is wide open. I think a guy like Drew Allard's a phenomenal pick in the 4th round, so you can develop him.
Holy glaze. Phenomenal pick. That's a reach. He's terrible.
Yeah, it's a reach for other teams, but I think for them, like, they can get a developmental guy in that room for very cheap while using this pick on a guy who I think is ready to start day one for this team that is starting Kobe Durant and Emmanuel Forbes, too. I'm fine with Emmanuel Forbes as your second best outside corner.
Yeah.
Kobe Durant, who's the other one? Some bum. Anyway, Darius Williams. They both suck. You need to get a guy in there who can play corner for you, and I think Cisse's got really good potential as well, and he could develop to be their number one corner, honestly. And they have Lake in the slot. Like, drafted Sonny Styles. That defense is going to be insane.
I mean, yeah, the defense was already really good. Now
and their offense was their strong suit.
So, yeah.
Like, it's just insane.
Yeah. At 30 to the Broncos, weird spot for my team, I feel like. Kenyon Sadiq's obviously very, very heavily mocked. I honestly don't know how likely I think it is we're going to take Sadiq. I don't know why. He just doesn't give me, like, Patton vibes. Like, I just don't think he's a player Pat would just take.
You don't think Peyton wants his Joker now that he's not calling plays?
I just don't think that they want only athletes, if that makes sense. If they saw a lot from like the previous 2 years, obviously he wasn't the greatest this season. I'm still gonna go with him just because people have talked about him a lot, and I just don't really see a pick that's super obvious here. So if he's here at 30, maybe they take him, right? And so I think there's definitely a decent possibility. So I'll just go with him.
Yeah,
simple as that. Pick. Simple as that. Patriots at 31 though.
I mean, I know what I want to do, but I don't know what they want to do. Pretty obvious what I want to do. Get a tackle. Put Will Campbell in a guard.
Okay. So, are you going to do that?
I mean, they said they don't want to do that. So, okay. Be dumb.
Maybe they're bluffing.
I mean, sure. Not a very useful bluff.
You could take the Arizona State tackle.
That's what I was
I'm not trying to say that name.
That's the lineman I'm considering at this point. Who's the other? Monroe Freeling? I don't think Freeling. I feel like he's the guy that's not going to go in round one. There's so many tackles at the back end. Someone's not going to go. Blake Miller's a guy who Dylan Jeremiah is very insistent on putting in every single mock draft.
I don't know why.
I don't see him on anyone else's. It's like, okay, dude. Like,
I really like Blake Miller. I really think he's going to rise. No one else thinks so. If he rises, though, he's going to look like a genius.
Or I could also go edge. I don't like these edges. The edges are old.
You don't like Cassius Howell?
What is Joshua Josephs and Gabe Jackus and Zion
What if
Young?
you go Lee Hunter here? What do you think of that?
No. Okay, I guess I'm just going to take Max Ahina short.
Interesting.
I think he's going to be a first-round pick. He's got the tools. He's got everything. The film was there. The Senior Bowl, he stood out like crazy. I think more than any of the other linemen, if I remember correctly, from what I heard. Rose into first-round conversations, but I feel like he just feels like the guy who rose late in the season will be a first-round pick, so I'm going to take him here. And now Will Campbell can play his best position, guard.
Yeah, but doesn't seem too likely because they said they don't want to take a tackle. But we'll see. We will see what they do with the last pick in the first round. I think this is such a hard pick. You don't really know what they want to do. They don't need anything on defense, it feels like. So I feel like
Except corner.
Yeah, but you're not taking a corner now that Cissé's gone because you had to take him at 29. You think so?
A lot of people in the first round.
You could take him, but what I'm thinking is interior offensive line because I think they could still use some help there. Really could use some help replacing Anthony Bradford. So, yeah, I'm going to go Emmanuel Pregnon.
What if they like Bradford? They have to, right?
They don't.
He started for 3 years.
Pregnon is my pick, and that'll end the mock draft. So what do you think of that pick?
I mean, he's a guy who I feel very confident will be a starting guard, from what I've heard. So he's 24, but pick 32, you're getting a guy who will start for your team that just won the Super Bowl. Phenomenal pick for them. Not much upside there, but
you don't need the upside.
If you can figure out corners, you don't have any holes. So
yeah,
and you already have those corners. You just have to re-sign them.
Well, this mock draft definitely turned out a bit different than most of ours, I feel like, but that is our pre-combine mock draft. Comment down below what you would have changed, and comment down below who you think the biggest steal of the draft is going to be. And thanks for watching. If you made it to this point in the video, you probably enjoyed it, so you should subscribe to the channel and like the video. It helps us out a ton, and have a good one, everybody.